welcome in to the CFCL Season 4 roster preview. Make sure that you guys get everything that you need going into the season about your players. Speaking of which, if you want to redshirt any players or adjust any depth chart, anything like that, you can always DM me. Before the season starts, after the season starts, you can no longer redshirt, so please do that in the preseason. Just to make sure that you can get all the red shirts you need. You're not going to need to worry about redshirting like third and fourth stringers, really. The game generally does a good job at doing that. Like, just for example, well, these guys are both redshirted, so maybe I can't use these as an example. But it does a good job at redshirting depth players. But if you did want to say redshirt your starting quarterback for some reason, or a second string just to make sure, you could always do that for sure. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the rosters. You can DM me with any questions. Timestamps are going to be in the description below, so you can jump to any teams that you want to see. And that's about it. So let's go ahead and hop into this one, starting with Texas A&M. Let's actually go ahead and look at all positions. See a couple 99 overalls here, a tight end and quarterback. But yeah, Ole Wood, the transfer out of South Alabama, 99 overall, listed as a scrambler. Not that fast, 77 speed, still the fastest on the team. You got Jason Hayden, played one game against UTSA, threw 4 or 5 interceptions. Not great performance out of him. Will be not the starting quarterback this time. Willie Connell, the junior. Jason Dennis, the freshman. Also, not stringed this time because the internet currently is not going to be good enough for me to do that. So instead, it's just going to be me talking to myself for a while. Kamani Gordon, 97 overall starting running back there. Got Zach Porter, Lawrence Falk, Lance Brigham, Dominic Stokes. I'm also not going to go through all the players for every team. Realistically, I'm not going to say everybody's name, but the notable players and the starters for sure. Jeremiah Morgan, number 1 wide receiver. Austin Campbell, you got Seth Isaac, Trayvon Lee, Carl Bryan, freshman CFCL player Reed Rafat, 77 overall. Let me see some of the stats here. Pretty good catching, just in general, solid player. To be exciting to see when he finally gets to play, but he's got some really good wide receivers ahead of him up there. So, of course, Philip Foster, another freshman. James White, not CFCL players though. Gerald Aiden, of course, transferred in now, 99 overall. Now onto the offensive line, Jaden Rogers up to a 97 overall, 99 awareness. So really good start to this offensive line, 90 overall. Cole McIntosh, Quinn O'Connor, the true freshman, 80 overall. CFCL player as well. Tate Stevenson, CFCL player, 89 overall as a sophomore. Hakeem Merchant, CFCL player. Okay, I'm just building quite the offensive line here. Offensive line university. Frederick Roy, Steven Brooks at left end to start the defensive line. Right end, Harley Gonzalez, Quenshon Barton, CFCL player. Donovan Steele, true freshman, CFCL player. Lots of good players on Texas A&M. Richard Rush, Stephon Frey. Starting linebacker here, left outside linebacker Spencer Smith. You got Adam Ostrander. Okay, linebackers, Shee Cooper, Ashton Watts. The corner room also developing nicely. Damani Rock, the true freshman, 70 overall only. Free safety. This is where Texas A&M excels, the safety position. They say a safety school. Well, Texas A&M a safety school, this is not usually what they would mean. But Jeffrey Kruger, 93 overall. You got Victor Wilkerson, the junior, 85. Spike Hammersmith, the odds winner, or sorry, the fantasy winner reward player. 82 overall freshman coming in. Let's see, what has he got for him? 82 tackling, good hit power, good zone coverage, good pursuit. Strong safety DeAndre Prince, another CFCL freshman. Ron Evans, Parnell Ingram, kicker. Curtis Dotson, 66 overall. Still going to struggle there. Dan Liston, a little bit better. Not great. All right, now going alphabetically. Air Force, led by Fitz Holland, the left tackle, their best player. Jackson Darlington, the senior scrambler quarterback. Gotta be their go-to guy this season. Broderick Tompkins still there. Weak running back room after him. Ryan Grigsby, Joshua Talley. Fitz Holland, really good player. Erwin Johnson, 86. They have some good offensive linemen here. And some young players. Undershick Huber. Defensive tackle's alright. There's certainly some weakness, and remember, defenses overall are kind of skewed right now. Remember that. Teams are struggling to get defensive players. What about Akron? Stavros Carey, their number one player. Dijon Jennings going to be the starting quarterback. Akron, of course, hasn't been able to replicate that Season 1 success. But they went to the conference championship game where they lost to Western Michigan. Not much to see on either side of the line, really. Linebacker, not going to be too hot either. But the defenses are getting a little better, slowly but surely. And these aren't exactly prime teams anyway, but yeah, you shouldn't have corners in the 50s. Or starting 50 overall safeties. But they are slowly but surely improving. Alabama, you got Coach W. Nathan Shaw Finley transferred in. Now a senior. He didn't take a red shirt last season, which is interesting. But he is a senior. But 90 overall should be a really good quarterback for him. 99 awareness. So good quarterback room overall, I would say. Solomon Aldrich, of course, started in Season 1. Now a senior. His last season with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Marshawn Hutchins, true freshman. Percy Bailey as well, another good wide receiver from Season 1. And Wayne McCord, same thing. So a lot of seniors in this wide receiver room. Stern Tinsley. These are all Season 1 guys except for Joey Clifford. Well, he is Season 1. I just don't remember him. But unless he transferred in at some point and I missed it. But 4 starting seniors at wide receiver. Brandon Riley is a true freshman, though, so you got some freshmen to replace him. Young class. It's not going to be as good, of course, but really good wide receiver room. Tight end, Damian Covington, Season 1 player. Offensive line looks good so far. Center's kind of weak. But everywhere else, I mean, you're looking at a good team there. Defensive tackle, solid enough. Patrick Miller, the CFCL player. One of 2 Patrick Millers in the class. There were 2 guys named Patrick Miller. Kind of an accident, kind of a boring name, but it ended up being quite funny. The other one is that James Madison. So I guess we'll kind of be able to compare their careers. Philip Andrade. Season 1 recruit. So didn't start in Season 1, came in Season 2, but he was a recruit. Now an 84 overall. Good special teams. App State, Herman Wang, his senior season. Another Season 1 freshman player. Quarterback for App State. App State just hasn't been very good. It's the problem. Could be a fun team to take over, though. Not a great wide receiver room here. Lots of sophomores in there, so young class though. Nguyen, tight end. Offensive line not looking great here. Left end to right end. Defensive line. So both lines of scrimmage going to be really weak. Linebackers aren't great. That's smart, 79 overall. Corners, the secondary not starting off hot. What about Arizona? Rahul Chavez, the senior, 92 overall. Jaden Garrett, terrible name, will be the starting quarterback there. Senior, redshirt senior at that, 81 overall. Didn't mean to skip these guys. Good running back though. Wide receiver room could use some work. Of course, Arizona coming off a 1-11 season. Chavez, there he is, 92 overall senior, so he should be really good for him. Terrible in the secondary. Good freshman kicker though. Arizona State, another team, just hasn't been able to replicate their season 1 success. Made the national championship game. Charlie Mata, the wide receiver, still there. True freshman in season 1. Played a big role in that huge national championship run. Didn't quite make it all the way to the top. They lost to Minnesota. Cyril Isaac going to be the starting quarterback there. Another not good name. Adam Roden. I'm interested to see if they can kind of pick up steam. They're slowly building back. You know, season 2 was tough. Season 3 was a little bit better. 5-6. Only played 11 games. The fullback, it's shocking. But yeah, Charlie Mata, shocked that he's still here, just considering the situation with the team. Thought he might head to the portal. Dead Charlie Mata. We'll see what he can do for Arizona State. Hart Tipton, he was also a freshman. It's cool to see some of these names that are going in from season 1 for their last season. Elijah Martell, that was a CFCL player. Keep your eye on him. Quinn Knoll, wide receiver at Arkansas. Arkansas has been a perpetual 5-17. 83 overall. Theo Bryan is there. All right, running backs. We'll see if now that Texas A&M, Oklahoma are out of the SEC, maybe they can pick up some steam because it's actually a pretty good class overall. I mean, solid wide receivers too, decent quarterback, decent running back. Clyde Westbrook, true freshman tight end, CFCL player, only a 72 overall. Let's see, maybe this team can finally reach a bowl. Going 5-7. Every season so far. Dean Erickson, CFCL player, but major bust. Junior redshirt junior now. Oh, this is not Gene Erickson. My bad. Garrett Erickson. So ignore that. Dean Erickson was on North Carolina, but I'm pretty sure he actually got drafted. Joseph Lynch, 88 overall, so they have a good punter. Arkansas State had a good season, a couple good seasons, really. Just won the Sun Belt. Corey Staley, the tight end, leading the charge. Brian Ralph, and some of these names just not good. We'll see if they can duplicate that success and run the Sun Belt again, but I think it will be a little tougher this go around. Corey Staley certainly can guide them, I'm sure, but only 67 speed. So not exactly the fastest guy on the block. Harley Quinn, good defensive end there. All right, Army. Hazel McNeil winning Independent Player of the Week almost every week because they're the only independent team. Of course, they have since moved to the American, so we'll see how that plays out for them. Alistair Jacob, 78 overall quarterback. Of course, they don't really need a great quarterback. Out of Army, Hazel McNeil going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Really good player, though, so I'm sure they'll have no issue there. Pretty aged team right now. Ham Cardenas also there. It's a fun name. Wayne Johnson. That is so funny. Definitely some older players on the offensive side of the ball. A little younger on the defensive side of the ball. We'll have to see. I think Army, if they're going to have a run at a decent season, I think this is the season. Auburn. Think of tough existence. Auburn comes to mind. They have just been a struggling team. Oliver Gregory, quarterback there now. 87 overall. We'll see what they can do, but 1-11 season. Not looking too great. They won the SEC West in season 1. Finished the season 7-7. That was quite funny because there were multiple teams that did a lot better. Solid corners though. BYU. Frazier Hector, 99 overall wide receiver. Could be a good target for Tally Weller, who transferred out of North Texas. He was the most sacked quarterback in FBS. Their team, of course, only won a handful of games. Decided to transfer out, come to BYU, one of the best offenses last season. A little bit worse on defense. But that is the story of pretty much every team in the CFCL. Good offense, really bad defense. Derek Reed. That's funny. We had another player with Derek Reed. That's funny. Dante Vick, 91 overall, replacing Fleming Fish, the Heisman-winning running back that they had. And they got Dante Vick, who looks 91 overall, but very slow. Very much a power running back. So we'll have to see. Maybe that won't go as well as they would think. Frazier Hector, 99 overall. Really good wide receiver. This wide receiver room in general, just very good. So we'll have to see. Maybe they can make a run to the... well, no, they're no longer in the Big 12. They're now independent. So We'll have to see if they can use that clear advantage to get a really good record.
Ball State, led by Ivan Frederick. Not a great team here either. Daniel Corey, quarterback out there. But I don't expect much from Ball State either this season. There's just not a lot here. Not anticipating a bowl game. Let's see, Baylor. Baylor's got some good players. Phoenix Walton, 92 overall. Stewart as well. Colin Roderick, the quarterback, 86 overall. You got Chase Crosby as well. Keep your eye on Chase Crosby. Not a CFCL player, but a name that I've become familiar with for some reason. He's really quick. He's a solid quarterback. He's only a sophomore. I think going forward, this could be a big name for the team. He might even take over the job at some point. We'll have to see how they kind of develop throughout the season. But Baylor should be an interesting team to watch. Maybe they can finally get over that hump of 7-8 wins. Ezra Stewart, good wide receiver, quick wide receiver too. Starting deep on the offensive line at left tackle. Good offensive line. Good offensive line indeed. Make sure. Sorry about that. I was just making sure that wasn't a CFCL player. He has a name pretty similar to one. Baylor would be a fun job, I think. Definitely need some work on these defensive players. Good kicker. Alright, keep your eye on Baylor, I guess. We'll see. Tough division, though. Tough division in the Big 12. Texas A&M, UTSA, Baylor's going to be in there. I don't know. It'll be Oklahoma State just had a 10-win season. Anyway, Alistair Dudley, 88 overall right tackle at Boise State. Ronald View. This is a tough situation for them to be in. Boise State did play for the Mountain West Championship game. Finished 8-6. I think this season is going to be a lot tougher for them. Not really seeing anything here that indicates they'll be running that one back. Unfortunately, a pretty weak team. Just don't have much going for them. We'll see. Of course, you never know. But I think it's going to be tough. Boston College just lost a really good quarterback. We'll get to him when we get to Florida State. Ruben Angus, 94 overall wide receiver, would have been a great target. Instead, they're led by Lachlan Harry, senior, 85 overall. Scrambler, but very slow, interestingly enough. They have Charlie Duncan to follow him up. We'll see how that plays out. Boston College, really good season one. Made the playoff, has not been the same. Or no. Did they? I believe they did, actually. Yes, I think they got an auto bid for winning the ACC. They did win the ACC. Ruben Angus, he helped them in that wide receiver. Now up to 94 overall. We'll see. Really been struggling, but that division, the ACC Atlantic, has just been a very, very good division recently. Got NC State, Syracuse, Florida State, of course, Wake Forest, all of those teams doing good. Louisville made it to the playoff. It's a tough division. We'll see. Maybe they can make a bowl game. Bowling Green, another MAC team here. Not expecting much out of them. Let's see. Adrian Horace, 78 overall quarterback. This team, yeah, not a lot here. Bowling Green probably gonna have a tough season. Not a lot going for them. We'll have to see. What about Buffalo? They just won the MAC. Went 9-5. A loss to Maryland in the bowl game, unfortunately. Really good bowl game, though. 23-28, I believe the final score of that one was. Their punter is their best player. West McAllister coming back his senior season. We'll get one more out of him. Not a CFCL player, but still, for some reason, big name. West McAllister. John. The running back room not looking great there. Does he have receivers to throw to? Not really. Does have a good tight end. On Rowan. Where have I heard this name? I'll have to do some research on him. Might have transferred, because I don't actually remember that name specifically where it's from, but I do remember the name. Yeah, I don't know that Buffalo is going to replicate their success, but look at these special teams. I don't know that they'll be able to replicate the success of last season, but we'll see. Cal has got Ronnie Baker. They just made the playoff at 9-3. It was a crazy situation that got them in. Now, have to see if they can run it back. I mean, that's all there is to it. Ronnie Baker, really good, fun season 1 player. Been a huge wide receiver for him. Judith Boggs got the starting job starting last season. And actually, was he? I don't remember. For some reason, I'm also believing he only started the Oregon game after injury, but that doesn't know. I don't know if that adds up. Anyway, to get off our tangent here, senior Judith Boggs should be a good quarterback for him. We'll have to see what he can do. If they can replicate last season's success, that was surprising to everybody. Jeremiah Ogden, good running back. There's some potential here for him. Ronnie Baker, Cameron Stewart, the CFCL player, found on the recruiting map. So there's an incentive to check that map when you can, because look at this, sophomore, 89 overall. Good tight end. There's a lot to be excited for on this team. Weak on the center, not great on the right side, but the left side of the offensive line is really good. Good linebacker there. Two good linebackers. Because Stuart Page, of course, in here. Really good CFCL player. There's a lot of good players, included by Coach Smiley while he was here. Unfortunately, he did end up leaving. Quite sad. Jake Moody. All right. Moving on to Central Michigan. They just lost the MAC championship game. It could be a team to eye up for the MAC race, though. We'll have to see how this plays out. Michael Davis, 84 overall quarterback there. Bo J. Mark Archibald. Terrible name, but a good running back. So we'll see. Keep your eye on him. Decent wide receivers here. I mean, as far as the MAC goes, this is a solid roster. Offensive line, not great. Not the worst. Defensive line would need some work, but I imagine this whole defense is going to be kind of like that. And if you have 70 overall defensive players, I think you're winning. In the CFCL for now. Defenses are just absolutely broken right now. They have been for quite some time. Gonna keep your eye on them. Charlotte. What do we have going on in Charlotte? 88 overall, Reese Jonathan, their best player. The quarterback there, Roderick Atoll. Guess we'll keep our eye on Charlotte because a decent quarterback for a G5 team. Good running back as well. The wide receivers, decent here too. So Charlotte, are we going to see them make a run at the American? Maybe not. Charlotte's kind of had some struggles. In fact, I believe Charlotte still has the biggest loss in CFCL history. I don't remember what the score was. I just remember it was very bad. The second worst was 90-35. Texas A&M beat Vanderbilt. Oh, really bad at the free safety position. Cincinnati. I believe they are still in the Big 12. I think they were able to keep their role there, rather than BYU. Fine. Just an interesting realignment period. Lothar Best, their best player. Robert Carey going to be the quarterback there now. 89 overall should be good. Oops, did not mean to do that. Should be good for him. Payne Max, running back. So a little bit of a weaker running back room, but still solid enough. Big 12 is going to be a very competitive conference, though. Troy Adam looks all right. Dario Mertz, you got the CFCL player. Redshirt sophomore now, 84 overall. Really bad center. Defensive line starting up all right. And of course, the defensive tackle, really good position. Lothar Best going to be really good this season, so keep an eye on this defensive line. Cincinnati not known for their defense, though, interestingly enough. Really good high-powered offense recently, and just defense that does not keep up with it. Like I said, I mean, it's a common theme in the CFCL, but Cincinnati especially. Cincinnati and Iowa, I think, are the best examples of that. Maybe it's the secondary that costs them. What about Clemson? Luis Cortez, 93 overall. Clemson has been struggling. The best season, I think, was 4-8. I mean, just not a good program right now. It's tough. Actually, I don't know if it's true. Season 1, if I recall, they were ranked at one point. So I doubt that they went 4-8. That might have been their best season. with season 1. They might have made a bowl loss, perhaps 7-6 type season, maybe. But since then, they've really taken a step back. 2 wins, 4 wins. I mean, I think that's what those seasons were. It was just not good. Anyway, they bring in Austin Bays, 84 overall, transfer out of Memphis. Good quarterback. Actually was pretty much the Memphis offense, so I'm concerned a little bit for Memphis. We'll see how he does at Clemson, if he can get this team to a bowl game again. Tough division, so we'll have to see. Frank Jake, good running back. Luis Cortez, really good wide receiver. Daryl Gutman as well. So good wide receiver room. Solid offensive line so far. I mean, yeah, this team could potentially break free a little bit. Defensive line not looking great. We'll have to see what the defense can do for this team, because if they can't do anything, then it's going to be a struggle again. But we've seen worse defenses. We'll have to see. Good kicker. I don't know if there's hope for them. What about Coastal Carolina? There's some good players on Coastal Carolina, and yet they struggle a lot. Daniel Samuel, the quarterback there. Mickey Waters, graduated now. They run the triple option, I believe, under their current coach. I think will help them. Andre Williams, 81 overall running back. I think that'll help them out a little bit. Things get tough. We saw it once in action against James Madison. Really fun to watch. We'll just have to see if that can kind of guide them to a better season than it's been doing. Otherwise, their coach might not last much longer. They do have a new offensive coordinator, though. So, a user offensive coordinator like that. We'll have to see if potentially there's going to be a change in the playbook. Colorado, Francis Terrence, wide receiver, their best player, but I'm excited for this guy right here. Lincoln Rory, 89 overall quarterback. No interceptions last season. 0 interceptions thrown. One of the most impressive stats of all time. 30-something touchdowns. No interceptions. Absolute beast of a man. We'll have to see if he can keep that going this season. Did play in the conference championship game where unfortunately Washington kind of took them to the woodshed. Let's see, wide receiver really good. Yeah, quite a few good players by on Terrence there. Glenn Dennis, good tight end room as well, really deep. I'll have to see if the defense can step up for them. Colorado, another one of those prime examples of great offense, just abysmal defense. And when I say that, I understand that I've been saying, it's a problem in the CFCL, the defenses. That is true, but there are teams where it stands out more. Colorado is definitely one of them. Like I said, statistically, we've seen worse defenses. But Colorado, they're one of those teams that the games are like 45-38 every time. I don't know. Colorado State had 2 seasons of success, a down season last season, and it doesn't look like things are getting much better. Ian Sidney, 78 overall quarterback. That's a young quarterback. Talent, call of that. They've just been a struggling team. Downhill slope, Season 1 was their best. Season 2 was fine. Season 3 was not great. Missed a bowl game. 5-7. Can they recover? Probably not. I don't know that they have what it takes. They lost their quarterback to Miami in the transfer portal, Asher Hoff. Oh, this is tough. This is probably the worst corner room we've seen so far. I think there's going to be 100 points a game put up on them. I have serious doubts about Colorado State this season. What about Duke? Duke has kind of phased off of planet Earth after season 1. They weren't even really good in season 1, but they did have the 66-63 win over Miami season 1. And since then we haven't really seen much of them. Austin Edgar, quarterback there. Good running back. Wide receiver room is alright. Could definitely be worse. Offensive line starting good. Could be worse. Yeah, I mean, that's a solid offensive line. I wonder if Duke could maybe look at a bowl game this season. It's kind of the goal for some of these teams, Duke included, is making a bowl game. They can do that. I mean, I think we'll have some success for the team overall. Duke is an interesting program. I don't think Duke is necessarily bad, but they just haven't been winning games. We'll have to see if maybe this can be the season to build some momentum. East Carolina, good season in season 2, abysmal season in season 3. The over-under wins was 8.5, I think, 9. It was pretty high up there, and they ended up winning just games. So, we'll have to see if maybe they can bring this one back. Grant Hammy, the quarterback, back for his senior season there. Alan Cope. Don't know why we know that name, but I definitely do. Weak in the running game. Good wide receivers to start here. Immediately kind of falls off. It's going to be a tough build, I think, for anybody who takes them over. Just because a lot of these good players are seniors. There's quite a bit of young talent on here, so I wouldn't, well, I don't know. Well, kind of see how they play out. I don't know that anybody will be taking East Carolina. I think it's a fun job, as is most of the teams. But we'll have to see. Eastern Michigan, actually one of those examples where they're not a fun job. I don't know why, but for some reason, it does not appeal. Reese Claude, 74 overall quarterback. Yeah, things are going to be tough for Eastern Michigan, especially after this season. This season might be okay, depending on what definition of okay is. I mean, the MAC generally is just not a good conference, so, you know, they could win some games that they shouldn't have been otherwise, but I don't know. It's going to be tough this season and then every season after until they find some more talent, because this team is not good. Really rough. I would not even around the edges. Marcus Frazier, there's a good safety for him. Not even rough around the edges, just really rough team in general. Florida is an interesting team. Isaiah Felix, best player, 98 overall wide receiver, 99 acceleration, 99 awareness. I'm excited to see Florida. They're led by the NC State transfer, Brett Gary. Good power, good accuracy, decent speed for a QB. There's some hope for this team so far. Won 9 games last season. They've been picking up some steam, but this is going to be their season to do anything. If they're going to do it, they need to do it because Hamish Henry, really good running back, also going to be graduating. So they have some good running backs behind him, though. So maybe not. But Isaiah Felix, a senior. Travis Blair, a senior. So actually, good wide receivers here, too. Justin Todd, Thomas, Liam all coming back. So maybe I take that back. Maybe the receiving room will take a step back. But still looks like it's going to be good. They will lose Logan and Terry. Actually, they're going to lose a lot of their good tight ends. The tight end room is one of the best in the country, undoubtedly. Look at this tight end room. But not going to have them next season. Good left tackles here. They should definitely disperse some of these if the rest of the offensive line is weak. But it's not. The offensive line is good. Really good. Okay, keep your eyes on Florida this season. Okay, this is an immediate step backwards, I would say. Not great corners. Osborne, we got a good safety there. Okay, I don't know. Florida's going to be interesting to watch. We'll just kind of have to see how they can play themselves out. FAU, Glenn Warren, 93 overall wide receiver. 2 wide receivers that are really good there. It's going to be Reese Eric throwing to him. Let's see if he can get the ball. Taylor Mason, running back there. Arnold. So after those two, you take a little bit of a step back, but what else can you expect? FAU, probably going to look to participate in the Sun Belt race a little bit. Sun Belt's a tough conference. There's a lot of good teams in the Sun Belt. Marshall, James Madison, Arkansas State. Of course, you usually wouldn't say that about James Madison, but Coach Blakey is building a good program there. Started 2-10, went 9-5 in season 3. Slowly but surely building. FAU, of course, moving from Conference USA to the Sun Belt. We'll see what they have in store. Florida State. Coach Panda's Tab. One of the most prominent brands in the CFCL, that's for sure. There's just a lot going on with Florida State all the time. Gavin Anthony, the tight end, transferred there. 99 overall. What can you say about a guy like that? Cooper Rubin transfers out of Boston College, comes to Florida State, and the quarterback room is very interesting. Okay, because you got Cooper Rubin, 89 throw power, 95 throw accuracy, good quarterback, 94 overall, very obviously good. Michael Bryan, so this guy's a senior. Michael Bryan's a junior. Michael Bryan, 89 overall. The transfer out of Georgia, one of the best teams in the CFCL historically, is Georgia. They had a tough season last season, as far as that goes. 8-5. Is 8-5 really that tough of a season? Maybe. But he transfers out of Georgia. A little bit worse statistically, but how much do you trust what he kind of did at Georgia? 99 awareness as well. AD Leak, only a sophomore. Redshirt sophomore after taking a redshirt year. Led them to the national title as a third-string quarterback after injuries to their first-string and second-string quarterbacks. Goes to the national championship game. Does get blown out by USC, but takes care of business against some good teams, including Georgia. Just a little bit worse statistically. So, I don't know. Do you trust what he's done, or you trust the ratings here? And then you got Rashad Jones, the true freshman, 76 overall. I mean, Florida State's never struggling for quarterbacks. Running back, Tyson Caston, the junior, up to a 95 overall, 95 speed. CJ Owens, CFCL player. I mean, both these CFCL players. Really good running backs. Instead at running back here, Justin Darby, fine. The wide receiver room gets better and better. Bruce Graham comes in, 96 overall. Reagan Landry up to a senior now, 95 overall, transferred out of Air Force in the first transfer portal in season 1. Hazel Hermiston, a junior. Chase Mitchell, the sophomore CFCL player, won freshman of the year. Nathaniel Holden down here, his senior season. Not going to get much, it seems. Cecil Kenneth as well. These guys are going to be leaving. Logan Caleb. So, yeah, you're going to lose a couple players, but still really good wide receiver room in general. Let's see. With the starters, Holden you'll lose, so you'll lose these two. Chase Mitchell you're going to have. Hermiston probably coming back. You'll lose Landry, you'll lose Graham. So, there's ups and downs to this. Gavin Anthony, the senior, 99 overall, of course. Not coming back, but not to be thrown out. You have Keel Hampton coming in at the 88 overall. Brock, and listen, they brought in really good tight ends via recruiting. 2 good tight ends. You got Brock Dumas and Keaton Sword, both CFCL true freshman tight ends. So both of these guys are going to be really good going forward for them. Keep your eye. Troy Hunt, of course, transferring in. Nolan Berry used to got there. He's senior now. Not a CFCL player, but we kind of like watching him because he allowed 0 sacks for a very long time. And has since kind of fallen out of the race. LaMichael Cameron took a redshirt year, 75 overall CFCL player. Good offensive line all the way around. Peter Kaufman, true freshman, 72 overall. So yeah, some lower ranked offensive linemen here, but should still be good pieces to the team overall. Good, even at right tackle. Left end, you're going to be missing Ted Carrington. He is replaced by Hadley Donnelly, though. So we'll see if he can kind of live up to the big name of Ted Carrington, who went number 4 overall in the draft. Lorenzo Hominick at right end. I have to figure out. Start the junior? Gonna start the other junior? Okay, I thought one of them was a sophomore. But yeah, definitely some debates to be had with those guys. Defensive tackle Jonas Rock, of course. Just a great player for him. We got Stuart Mack, the CFCL player, 90 overall sophomore. So he's going to be really good. There's just a lot for this team going forward. Edmund Blick, another CFCL player. Got Curtis Mitchell coming in. I believe that was just an in-game player, though. Spencer Mitchell. What's with the Mitchells on this team? Chase Mitchell, Curtis Mitchell, Spencer Mitchell. A lot of Mitchells on this team. Eric Pickett, the CFCL player. Always funny to watch him because he has one of the highest drop pick rates out of pretty much everybody, it seems like. Tavares Lee transfers in, but you got Travis Church down here. Good quarterbacks. Chance Gamble, true CFCL freshman. Another CFCL safety, 81 overall. Lots to be had. Is it worth taking, say, Travis Church or Tavares Lee, putting him over Chance Gamble, redshirting Gamble? Probably going to be the move here. Well, I'm not the coach, so let's see. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Teddy Stover finally getting to start in his redshirt junior season. Teddy Stover in the first recruiting class. Now a 90 overall. Is that accurate? Oh, because he's got really low awareness. Bad awareness. Look at that throw power and throw accuracy. 96 and 90. But just 65 awareness to his name. That's unlucky. He, with a better awareness, he could be a 99 overall here at Fresno State. Hopefully comes back next season with a boost in awareness. I mean, he'll be... If he doesn't transfer out, of course, I think Fresno State will have a really good quarterback in him. Just hasn't been starting. Just kind of been shown up every season. Because look at the quarterback room of Fresno State. It's just tough to win a job where there's so many good players, even if he is a CFCL player. This team looks like they could compete for the Mountain West. Offensive line's a little weak. Gonna have to protect Stover. offensive line as well here. Not great. Oh boy. Yeah, things could be better on the defensive side of the ball, as usual. All right, what about Georgia? Georgia is going to be the team to watch. They disappointing 8-5 season, including a loss against James Madison, 17-14. Jordan Travis Jr., custom recruit made by Panda Stab for his Florida State team, transfers out after 2 years of not getting the starting job. Jumps to a 97 overall, by the way. Completely nuts. Did not see that one coming. 99 awareness, definitely doing its part in that, I think, though. 92 throw power, 83 throw accuracy. He's quick, 87 speed. So there's a lot to look forward to in Jordan Travis Jr., the junior. Charles Carter, freshman, so there's some depth there going forward after he leaves. Running back Bobby Bennett, transferred out of James Madison. Georgia is just poaching user team. What it is. Bobby Bennett, 97 overall, also really good. Georgia's just going to be a really, really hard team to contend with. Samuel Syro, big name for him. The thing about Georgia is they really don't have many CFCL players themselves. Whitney Guerra, transferred from Auburn, I believe. Is that right? I don't remember. Actually, no. I'm just completely wrong here. Whitney Guerra was on Texas A&M, transfers to Georgia. So another, it's embarrassing because that was my own team, but another player poached from a user team. Offensive line completely stacked at left tackle. Those guys decided to play other positions. I mean, it's over. Yeah, like I said, not a lot of players recruited as CFCL players. Some from the portal, but other than that, not a lot. Still a loaded roster, though. No matter how you look at it, this roster is just unbelievably loaded compared to all the other ones. Gonzalo Hedinger, that is one. They do have one. Oh, and Floyd Connell, the true freshman CFCL player. So they got two. Wilfred Morales, 98 overall free safety. Richard Weddle, the notable name on the team. Every time you play, you're going to see his name come up. He does something big. Hudson Pritchard, the true freshman linebacker for Georgia Southern. Look at this guy. Absolute gem committed to the team. Led by Corey Dominic, 78 overall. So maybe rely on the run game. They got Avi Hawley, running back from San Jose State, transferred here. Interesting decision because honestly, San Jose State's a good destination to be in, even though they just got moved back to the Mountain West. See how they can kind of take that forward. We'll check out their roster, of course, in a bit, and we'll see if maybe they have one that can compete for the Mountain West. San Jose State's just a fun CFCL team to watch. There he is, Hudson Pritchard. I mean, just looking at some of this guy's stats, look at the tackles, 85, play recognition, 89, 85 block shed, zone coverage, 92, man coverage, 87. I mean, this guy might play corner if he wanted to. Speaking of which, they might need him to. Georgia State started off 1-6, finished 6-7 after a bowl loss. But that was a funny season. The first win of the season was beating ranked TCU. Undefeated TCU? Perhaps. Quarterback Javon Stover. Not great. I think Georgia State is in for a tough year. They do have Coach Sav. Good wide receivers. They have Coach Sav there, but honestly, I don't think this roster is built to succeed yet. I think it definitely still needs some work. And it's tough to get players against some of the big user teams. It is. But I think if he can, there's some success to be had. Boise State, another Sun Belt team. I mean, there's just so many people who can compete for the Sun Belt with the right moves. Aldrich Hurley at Georgia Tech, another name notable in the CFCL. Not a CFCL player. Josiah Joshua up to a senior season, redshirt senior season. Georgia Tech, I mean, just a team that really hasn't existed much. They really just don't have a lot going on. They're not a notable team much. Last season they beat Georgia. They went 3-9 total, 0-9 in conference. They won all of their out-of-conference games, including Georgia, but they didn't win a single conference game. Georgia Tech is in rough shape. Good defense, though. Good secondary. Well, until here, but still. Hawaii, one of the worst teams that we had in Season 2. I mean, like, CFCL team ever. One of the worst teams ever in Season 2. Season 3 was a little bit better. 5-6 they finished. Only played 11 games. Dale Tristan, 80 overall quarterback for them. Donald Gray, 71 freshman, so maybe some hope to be had in him going forward. Yeah, Hawaii is a tough job. Hawaii is just, I mean, they're always just kind of in a rough position. Very little going for them. What about Houston? What does Houston have? Moved to the Conference USA from the Big 12. Kicked out for being terrible in the war of realignment. Grant Clarence, 85 overall quarterback. 43 speed is insane. Literally unable to move. So, keep that in mind. Okay, wide receivers here for him. Well, see, Houston might be competing for the Conference USA. There's a chance. A little bit less competition in the Big 12. And, I mean, a decent roster top to bottom. And Houston's definitely one of those teams that's going to be getting better with the seasons that go forward, rather than worse. They're not losing a ton. They have some young players that just need to develop. And if they can recruit some guys, I think they'll be set. What about Illinois? Illinois kicked out of the Big Ten, moved to the American Conference for being just atrocious. Yeah, it looked like they have some good players there. Ethan Dennis, 84 overall, but after him, not much to see in the quarterback room. Wade Doss, 89 overall. Good fullback too. Solid wide receivers. I don't know. I think Illinois could certainly put up a fight for the American, just based on what we're seeing here. Look at this left tackle room. What's some of these guys on the other positions? Left guard, right guard. Man, just move them around a little bit. I think they'll be good. offensive line at least. Honestly, the team looks solid. I'm surprised Illinois has been so embarrassingly bad in the Big Ten. And it's not like they're winning 2 games or whatever. I mean, they're legitimately winning 1 game. I don't know. Big Ten is a tough place to play. Indiana, speaking of teams that are doing bad there, you got Indiana, Vaughn Howard, 78 overall. I don't expect much out of them again. When you're in the same division, Michigan State, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, it's tough. Indiana's just never really had much going for them. Kind of carried through. All right, what about Iowa? Ken Pulliam, the senior, one of the best quarterbacks around, highest performing, highest rated. Lots of hope for him. We'll see what they can do with him. Iowa should be contending for the division. We'll have to see if they can, especially with the departure of USC back to the Pac-12. Long. I read something else there for that name. But not a lot of CFCL players on this team, if any. I don't actually know if they have any, including the quarterbacks. Iowa State has got a new coach in McGritty, moving on from the Georgia defensive coordinator. At the 30-something ranked defense, Iowa State goes 2-10. They decide they need a new coach, and they pick him up. Jordan Tamati, 82 overall quarterback, going to be the starter for him. Let's see. He had a good transfer portal. And we're going to see some of those guys in here, in the mix. But in general, I mean, not a bad team. They had a really good season in season 1, and then after that, it was kind of confusing as to why they were struggling so much. Ford Price, they got there, coming out of the portal. CFCL player as well, by the way. Defense in rough shape. No shock there, though. James Madison, Todd Holt, the freshman CFCL player, defensive tackle. 87 overall, their best player. I'm excited for this team. They went 9-5. They didn't win the Sun Belt, but they made the conference championship. Now led by Ronan Morgan, who transfers in. Dennis Carter, of course, was the starter until he got benched for Cam McDowell, who is now all the way down here behind even Darren Brendan, who we saw play a little bit, but he was terrible when he did play. Cam McDowell was probably the best performing of all of them, but definitely outclassed by some of these guys. Especially if Ronan Morgan plays well, then it shouldn't be an issue. The 85, but 74 throw accuracy is going to be tough. Carter is 81 and 81, 86 and 76. Ronan Morgan might actually not be the solution. And have to monitor the stats of them, see who you need to put in and when. They got Derek Reed, the sophomore now, 5-star recruit,
an in-game recruit. Decided James Madison was his place. So they should be set at running back for a couple seasons here. Matthew Tristan, their leading wide receiver. I mean, James Madison has just been the target of the portal. All their good players get poached into the portal. It's tough. Like, they're still, even such, they're losing these good players. Bobby Bennett is the biggest one. Daryl Kieran, another good one. They're losing these big players, and yet they're still succeeding. 88 tackle, 87, 87, 84, 87 hit power. I mean, this guy's a monster. Absolute monster. Watch out for him. He could be the next Jed Carrington. There's the other Patrick Miller. Here he is, 79 overall. Like I said, we had two of them. The other one is there. James Calvin Hart. Calvin Hart is, I was going to say, I think Calvin Hart's a true freshman. He is. For some reason, I just totally blanked on that fact. He is a true freshman CFCL player. Eye on him. Beck Starr, true freshman as well. Got, where are the kick stats? Oh, they're in the middle. 83 power, 77 accuracy. Could be a good kicker. Kansas. Leo Bryan. Leonard Bryan, depending on... For some reason, Leo Bryan just became the norm for him. I don't know how that happened. Damian Lawrence going to be the quarterback there now, 88 overall. I think that's finally a step back at the quarterback position for him. They've had really good quarterbacks at Kansas. I think this is going to be the season where we kind of see you make or break. We do have true freshman Xavier Charbonneau, who shouldn't be redshirted. So I'm going to have to fix that. There he is. Good wide receivers up there at the top, and then kind of taking a step back. Alistair Sidney's still here. Hampton, good offensive lineman. Fleur is a good corner for him. Alright, I guess we'll see if Kansas can keep competing for the Big 12. They just won it. But on the opposite side of them, their biggest rival, Kansas State, just seems to get better and better with every season. And they just never put it together at the end. They got Zach Wiggins, the senior, 90 overall. Basil Mervin will come up next. Ben Perkins, 97 overall running back. There's a lot to be excited about. Simon Warwick, solid wide receivers. Alan Percy, good tight end. Spencer Weiss, 97 overall left tackle. Struggling a little bit here. The left tackle's loaded, right? So they got good tackles. We'll see if Kansas State can put something together maybe this season. Bobby Ochoa, true freshman linebacker they got there. CFCL player. All right. Penn State, another MAC team that I just don't know what to expect. They went 8-5. I guess we'll see. Rodney Patrick, not expecting. See, that's the problem. It's just the quarterbacks, I don't think are good enough to do much for these teams. Wide receiver room is weak. I mean, there's just nothing on offense that's showing me this team can compete. They have solid tight end there.
Offensive line doesn't look good. Defensive line looks rough. But like, if everybody in the MAC is this bad, is anybody in the MAC this bad? I don't know. We'll have to see. The MAC is going to be a fun one to keep an eye on, just because it is genuinely the worst conference by far, and it's not close. What about Kentucky? Alexander Tristan, 90 overall wide receiver. Kenneth Leonel, 82 overall quarterback there. Kentucky's kind of avoided the spotlight in any way. They did get Landon Mayo, so that might put them on the map a little bit going forward after the graduation of Barry Martin. Landon Mayo, 80 overall true freshman, CFCL tight end. We'll have to see if that can kind of put them on the map a little bit more. Because otherwise, I mean, this team's kind of not really existing. Like, I don't know. Season 1, they had a good run for a little bit, and then after that, they just kind of vanished. Kind of like real life, where Kentucky is just kind of like a side program. What about LSU? LSU, this has got to be their... I mean, look, LSU, they have so many good players, and they're just not putting it together. 9-4 is a fine season, but I don't know, man. Anyway, Martin Means came back for his senior season, which is crazy because it just means that everybody else is going to have a bad time, because this guy is he's quick. I mean, 84 speed, but 99 acceleration and agility. Got good throw power, good accuracy, high elusiveness. I mean, the guy is the definition of a scrambler quarterback. Amani Walls didn't take a red shirt, so now he's a sophomore, but he's an 89 overall sophomore. He's a CFCL player. I don't know. They have some success coming their way at LSU. That is for certain. It should be this season, because Frank Guy is there. I mean, he's so fast on the field for some reason. Something about him. Tight ends. I mean, look at this team, guys. 90 overall. Center. I mean, try to explain to me why they aren't competing. Justin Stuckey. I believe that was a 5-star player. Not a CFCL player. But it was a fun enough name. Stuck with me. Yeah, I mean, this team is just so good, top to bottom. Especially if you were to take, say, Luke Lee and put him here. Then you have a good strong safety as well. I don't know. LSU is ready to cook. Is Louisiana. Rowan Allister, 90 overall wide receiver. They got 2. Alex Tamati there as well. Marcus Wilson, 83 overall quarterback. He is balanced, so he could be good enough to throw these guys. This is a solid looking team. Looks pretty dangerous. I believe they're in Conference USA now. So that is what they're looking to run. Because this is not a team that's looking to go bowling. This is a team that is looking to compete for the conference. Now, what G5 are we looking at? That might be the one that's competing for the playoff. Remember, with the 12-team playoff, one of them is guaranteed. Who will it be? I don't know if we've seen him yet. Fresno State, perhaps, is the best one we've seen. Louisiana Tech, a solid program. Ernest Sean transfers out of USC after he loses his starting job. We'll get to USC. But terrible name. Now at Louisiana Tech, so maybe I don't have to hear from him ever again. Takes over the starting role of Martin Daniels. Louisiana Tech's had a decent program overall. It looks like they still have some good players. So we will definitely see. I just don't know if I trust this team to compete, say, with Louisiana, for example. What about Louisville? Oh man, this has been a team that is at its moments, that's for sure. They're going to need to pull a transfer quarterback after Boyer leaves. But Boyer, really good quarterback, listed as a scrambler. Don't know if I trust that. 69 speed. No good quarterbacks after to replace him. So they're definitely going to need to find a replacement. Claude Percival as well. They did get true freshman Aiden Aguilar, though. So I don't think they're going to have to worry about the running game anytime soon. Wide receivers still look solid. Are they going to be the team competing for the ACC Atlantic? Presumably against Florida State, though. I don't know about that. My bet is Syracuse. I think Syracuse and Florida State are going to be the teams that have to go pretty much head-to-head to decide the division. Marshall's got Hermie Hackett. I mean, this guy's listed as a scrambler as well, and he's got speed and stuff on him, don't get me wrong. But his passing numbers are crazy. I want to see him in the Heisman race because this guy is just so insane. He doesn't even have a good throw power, 78, but his accuracy's high. This guy is just such a fun guy to watch. It's going to be his last season, so we'll see. I think Marshall is probably not going to have much success after he leaves. Especially because all these wide receivers are going to be leaving as well. Too much to be impressed with on defense. Ooh. Yeah. Marshall's another one of those teams. Offense and defense dynamic. What about Maryland? Maryland's an interesting team to watch because they did lose Wood Norton, really good quarterback. Bryant Novak's going to come in. He's a sophomore, 86 overall. He's quick. Good power, good accuracy. So I don't know. Maybe Maryland's still a threat here. Even though they kind of disappoint. Just like real life. They become a 6-7 win team. Good left tackle. 90 overall. Good right tackle. Rylan Little is a CFCL player. Don't quite remember where he ended up though. Hell, whatever. Ignore my ramblings. What about Memphis? So they lost Austin Bays. Anton Lawrence is the guy for him now. Is he going to be good enough? I don't know. I think that they have some building they still got to do here. That is not what I meant to do. They did get Jermaine Mobley, the true freshman, 85 overall, so maybe they just switched to a run-based playbook. That might be the move. Obadiah Witherspoon is still one of the best names on planet Earth. Wide receivers are all right. Andrew Chance, that's funny. That was the Texas A&M quarterback a couple seasons back. Last season. Eddie Tudor, the true freshman, CFCL, #1 player in the class. Ended up being an 83 overall. So, not the highest rated, but was the highest ranked. And still good. Nothing to complain about with him, I imagine. Defense is actually alright. I mean, using your knowledge of what defenses are like. Yeah, it could be worse. I don't know, maybe there's hope for Memphis. Now Miami. Asher Hoff, 93 overall, transfers out of Colorado State, and that's why I think Colorado State's going to take a step back. I mentioned earlier. Got Asher Hoff to Miami, and listen, he's just a really good player. He's quick, you know. He's got great accuracy, good power. I don't know. The question though becomes, what about Jack Moonshine, the true freshman CFCL player that he promised would be the stat leader? That was his promise to Jack Moonshine, is that he is going to be the team positional stat leader, aka he is going to have the most passing yards on the team. But that's only true if he is starter. And he's got the stats to be a starter. Lower awareness, but he's got the stats to be a starter. I don't know. Coach Starfair has a decision to make with that one. Chris Williams, there's just so many good quarterbacks here, so they're not really worried about anything. Even if he transfers out by a broken promise, they're going to have Williams to follow up. Alistair Campbell, 91 overall. They got Phoenix, 89. Brett. Okay, what is this? I didn't know they had two guys. That's funny. Brett, and Phoenix. Gary Samuel, 91 overall. Still good wide receiver room. The question, though, becomes, can they finally put it together for a good season collectively? Because they always start off strong, kind of get off the rails a little bit, and they end up with 4 losses every season. Cabral, sophomore now. Arm as well, really good. It's a good team. Have to avoid weird losses. Good special team. Yeah, top to bottom, good team. I don't know. Archie Josiah, the tight end at Miami, Ohio. He's their best player. Aiden Simpson, the quarterback. Riley Foxhoven, they got the true freshman. #1 ranked quarterback in the class, but he's actually their overall. John Gordon, good running back. There he is, Archie Josiah, 93 overall. Miami of Ohio could be a team that's contending for the MAC. Certainly one of the better MAC teams so far. Probably who I would put my money on. Had to. Michigan, Joey Poe is the kicker, and he's their best player. Reese Koch going to be the quarterback out there. Roman Handy, unfortunately, not going to get his, not going to get the starter back. He's going to go out a backup, which is unlucky, just because the moments that he's kind of had for Michigan. They will bring in Reese Koch. Is he going to be good enough to take this team to where they want to go? Michigan's never made the playoff. They're the winningest team. They have the winningest coach in J-Star. Winningest coach in CFCL. But they've never made the playoff. They've only made the conference championship game once, and they lost. So we'll have to see if there's finally enough happening here. Bernard Carey quickly takes over Lazaro Gleason's spot as RB1, set to go. Lance Alexander, 96 speed. I think there's an argument to put him in there. Ben Andre still there, really good wide receiver. Bowles. Heavy Owls. Good offensive line. Great offensive line, even. Good start to the defensive line. Continues here. Great defensive line. Okay, there. Good linebackers overall, I would say. Corners, even. Yeah, this Michigan team is probably looking to contend. 93 overall. What is 99 kick power? So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Dean Ashton, the best player in Michigan State. 93 overall, but his senior season. We follow him up with Casey Washington. So they got some they got things set here. They don't need another quarterback because Casey Washington, freshman, things will be fine. Just fine. Running back Rafe Krieger, same class as Tyson Casson. They're kind of indirectly competing with each other. Teams have never played, but it's just fun to watch the two teams kind of go back and forth. These really good running backs from that class. Alex Mackey, you got now a redshirt freshman. Lots of freshmen in this receiving class. Okay, so you got two seniors, and everybody else is a freshman, either redshirt or no. So, but either way, good receiving game. Good tight ends here. Offensive line starting off hot. I was checking for CFCL players. I would say adjust the line a little bit just to fill in that left guard spot. There's Rylan Littell, or Rylan Little. Poorly it's pronounced Little, but I think Littell is a little bit funny. CFCL freshman, 80 overall linebacker, so good to see him there. Daquan Ariano. That's a CFCL freshman. Tomlinson. Jethro Pearson as well. So look, another team with a lot of good safeties. You're going to lose Briggs, but then you got 375 overalls competing with each other. Be the number one here. Steve Tomlinson comes back. Jethro Pearson, you still got waiting in the wings to come in. So Middle Tennessee. I don't know if I know anything about Middle Tennessee, really. They're kind of a quiet team that I feel like has had good moments. I don't remember what those moments are. Certainly have some decent players here. Really deep left tackle. I mean, we see that a lot. Really deep on the left tackle spot. Left tackle and right tackle, really. And Cardenas, 90 overall. Minnesota, the season 1 national championship winner, has just completely fallen off since then. Led by Douglas Bailey. They need to find something in Minnesota because things have been tough this season. Not making bowl games. I don't even think these guys are part of the class that took them to the national championship game. I mean, some of them are here. You know, the seniors that you see are going to be. But, like, where are the big name players? Because season 1, I don't know if all of them were freshmen. You know, I'd imagine not, right? So, yeah, none of these guys are really the big names this team needs. Atkinson was there. I remember Max Atkinson. Yeah. Mississippi State still got Nigel Weaver, really good receiver, but their quarterback room finally taking a step back. Mike Hampton going to be there. Kevin Dunn. I mean, you got 3 guys. How do you decide? 3 freshmen at that. 86 and 80. 89, 87. Maybe Kevin Dunn's the guy to go. I mean, he's definitely a pocket passer. This guy's a lot quicker. We got here 88 and 90, but he's got low awareness. John Johnson. This is a sneakily good quarterback room. You don't look at him and say that, but really good quarterback, and they transfer out. Keep your eye on Mississippi State. Max Moore, really good. John Hill as well. Mississippi State might be shockingly good this season. 42 overall tight end. Yeah, there's some good players here. Definitely. Would I say Mississippi State's winning the division or conference? Maybe not. Although, maybe. Missouri, Adrian Braxton, the wide receiver. They got 2 good wide receivers here. And Alexander Connors, the senior, good quarterback. There's a lot to be excited for if you're Missouri. The problem with this team, a lot of seniors. Yeah, a lot of seniors. Missouri definitely losing some talent. Peter Paquette, CFCL freshman, 73 overall. All right, so after the short break, we're on to NC State. Jeremiah Simon, the quarterback there, but they have one of my personal favorite names, Mickey Waters. Don't know why, but I think it's a fun player, fun name. Stephen Allen there. You got Andrew Sion. That's how that name's pronounced. Still don't know. Good running back duo here. Adrian Doyle out there as well. Oops. I'm skipping guys, aren't I? Ashley Anton, 89 overall. Ernest Todd. Reese Gerard. Good wide receivers. Nolan Holiday, the CFCL tight end. 76 overall as a junior now. Not great. Colton Coolin. A true freshman. CFCL player. Oh, wow, look at this. Kyle White, 89 overall. But Ernest Bush as well. Really good safeties. 99 speed as well. Strong safety, a little bit weaker. Did it again. On to Navy. They got a right tackle. Shannon Nash, 91 overall out of the transfer portal. Quarterback Jack Sparrow, sophomore, 80 overall. Nate Johnson, CFCL as well here in Charles Coates, 76 overall. Scrambling, 88 speed, 89 acceleration. Yeah, he should be pretty good going forward for him. Decent throwing stats as well, and definitely will be getting better with time. Running back Ronald Hayden should be a solid player for him. Some faster running backs there towards the bottom. Really good fullback there. Not great in the wide receiver room. Really strong at left tackle. Maybe move one of these to the left guard position. Yeah, move one of those left tackles to the left guard, and I think you're good. Solid corner there too, and Cook. Good kicker. Weaker punt. Nebraska. Nebraska had a tough season. Missed a bowl game, in fact. Neil Woodruff, the quarterback. 85 overall senior. Carl Tyson, a freshman though, so they have a future. That's for sure. Joshua Cameron, 89 overall, 96 speed running back. I don't think they should have any trouble there. Wide receivers look good. Mike Parker, Tim Brewster still there. Tim Brewster had the walk-off win over Miami in that Hail Mary back in season 2. Really good looking team. Last season was tough. I'm not quite sure why it was so bad, but definitely looks like a good team this time. Barthol Athalos, CFCL player. 79 overall junior now. Yeah, they got a couple out here. Vinny Matson as well. Red Nevada, Benji Daniels, 97 overall. Really good player. TJ Lee, freshman. Kerry Cotton, freshman. Dan Morris. Yeah, they should have some success. Certainly some success to be found here at Nevada. Good players. Even in the wide receivers. There's some good wide receivers out here. Tight ends are workable. The offensive line could use some work. Overall, solid team. Could compete for the Mountain West. Have that Fresno State to contend with. Benji Daniels, really good quarterback. Alvin Jennings, the punter. Never a good sign when your punter's your best player. An okay QB room. One solid running back and looks like it's going to be a struggle season for New Mexico. Not a lot to work with. You're the Lobos.
Yeah, it's probably going to be tough, but we'll see. North Carolina defending national champion Xavier Norman here for his senior season. That's definitely a threat. Bentley Burnham as well. Both of them returned for their senior seasons. Just absolutely terrible for the rest of college football. We got Henry Martin, Logan Masters, Anthony Evans. Logan Masters is a CFCL player as well in the last recruiting class. 87 throw accuracy, 79 power. Solid player. Running back, of course, Xavier Norman. We saw him in the playoff do his thing. Bobby Brooks. I feel like I know that name as well. That might be a CFCL player. I have to check though. Embarrassing that I don't know. Bevan Donald, 90 overall. Tom Shane, Craig Carter, Kyle Wilson is the first name we don't really know. But still some good players on this North Carolina team for sure. Barry Scott, Spencer Raymond. And the offensive line sure to be really good. We're not having a lot of CFCL players. Certainly a really good team. Should definitely be contending for the playoff once again. Really good top to bottom team. North Texas lost their quarterback to the transfer portal. And Tally Weller. Harold Sam takes over. Looks like North Texas is going to have some struggles again this season. Not going to be able to have a strong running game, it doesn't look like. Although, there's some potential in the offensive line there. In the tackles. Just train them to be guards and you're good. Not a great team that will be playing in Conference USA. Conference USA not exactly known for being a super tough conference, so we'll have to see. That might help them out a little bit there. What about Northern Illinois? Lauren Burns, the junior, 86 overall. Restarting for him. Okay, running back there. Decent wide receivers in here. Solid tight end. Offensive line looks okay. Ugh. Defensive tackle's a little weak. I was going to say the defensive line should manage. Northwestern, their best season was season 1, and they haven't had a good season since. Some of the worst seasons, actually. Caleb Phillips is going to be the quarterback there, 79 overall. Really good running back, Damian Calebs. John Peoples as well, very quick. Wide receiver room, a little weak. But overall, I mean, nothing terrible. The offensive line, not great. Nothing special about the defensive line either. Linebackers are actually solid so far. Yeah, good linebackers. Decent enough corners. Safeties. Okay, yeah, I mean, maybe Northwestern might make themselves a bowl. That's what I think the goal should be. Notre Dame. What do they got? Tanner Allen, now a senior, his final season.
Notre Dame has not been succeeding. They follow the same trend every season where they beat some ranked team to start the season. And they start off 3-0, you know, something like that. And then they just completely fall off and either barely make a bowl or miss a bowl. And I don't know why. We'll have to see if maybe this can break the trend. They got a really good quarterback in Tanner Allen. I mean, you look at his stats here. Throw accuracy is crazy. Throw power is good. 90 overall, of course. So there's definitely some success to be had with this team here. We'll see. Now that they're independent too, they're not playing ACC competition anymore. Running back Basil Danny's there. I mean, with transferred out of Cal, you know, so got a really good running back. I mean, look at the wide receivers. I don't know. Watch out for Notre Dame. They could use a left guard. Other than that, they look solid. Left ends look good. Right ends look good. Defensive tackles are good. Yeah, this is a solid team. They don't have CFCL players as far as I know. Linebacker maybe a little worse for wear. Corners are solid enough. The top two. Decent safety there. Both sides. Strong safety. Free safety. Special teams could use some work, but overall, Notre Dame, pretty good looking team. I'd watch out for them. Could be a very surprising team. Back to the MAC here, Ohio. Nothing great to start them off at QB. Little rough in some spots, but again, you're competing with the MAC, so anything you get helps you, because I think the MAC is probably the most workable conference of any conference. Get the right guy, even one player maybe. And now on to Ohio State, somewhat of a disappointing team. 8-9 win team, but nothing really more than that. Harrison Shannon, his senior season, final season, 91 overall. I mean, he's just a really solid player. Gonna have to see where Ohio State goes after him. Probably to Nathaniel here, which is also a bad name. I hate when it has the first name as the last name. Anyway, Stephen Pickens, really good running back. I believe that they got him out of the portal. Can't remember everybody. Good wide receiver room. Really good wide receiver room. Tight ends as well. Good left tackle. Good left guard. Center. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State is looking to be a contender this season. Yeah, this is a good team. Ohio State, definitely some talent on this team. I don't know. I'm taking the over on Ohio State. I know they've only been able to win 8 or 9 games, but this is a good roster. Really good roster. What about Oklahoma? Levi Camacho, 91 overall quarterback. His final season. Finley Phillips, true freshman behind him. Hunter Colbert, CFCL player, but a 1-star, so just developing really slowly, unfortunately. 76 overall. Really good arm, but not super accurate. He might transfer out to a G5 and get some playing time. We'll have to see. Good fullback there. Solid wide receiver room. Thorne looks like a good tight end. The one good left tackle. The left guard position weak, but everywhere else, I mean, it's set. Defensive tackle looks good too. Linebacker starting off hot. Okay, middle linebacker a little weak in the middle there. But yeah, I mean, these are some solid players. William Holiday, the punter, their #1 player. What about Oklahoma State coming off a 9-win season? Willem Lawler transferred out of Army to be here, I think, for his senior season. I didn't know you could do that, but he did it. Andy Williams, Cullen Arnold. Brad Campbell, 91 overall running back, 95 speed. There's definitely a good potential in this team as well. Really good wide receivers. Problem is they play in a really good division. Lots of offensive linemen. Yeah, Oklahoma State could gear up to be a good team. They're in a really, really bad division to do that. It's a tough. It is a bad division to do. Old Dominion's got David Cunningham leading the charge. 85 overall quarterback, pretty good for him. Kane Padilla is a 91 overall running back. Wide receiver room looks good as well. We might have to watch out for Old Dominion this season. The tight end. Okay, so a little weak here towards the middle of the offensive line. Stafford's a fine defensive lineman. Oh, the linebackers there are a little rough in the middle. Corners are not ideal. Okay, so there's some work to be had, but still, I think Old Dominion, definitely a team you have to watch out for when you're playing, because even if they might not win the division or the conference or anything crazy, they definitely still look like they could beat anybody they play in proper game. The ball bounces right, I think they got it. Ole Miss, they fell off a cliff after their quarterback went to the draft after season 1, and they have never been able to look the same since. Isaac Robin taking over the starting role, which is shocking considering Wendell Bowen was the starter as a true freshman. They bring in Robin, and I guess he's just the go-to guy now. 90-84 versus 76-81. I don't know about that call here. He's got high awareness, but I don't know. Wendell Bowen might be the future QB of this team. He's only a sophomore. He's probably taking a red shirt, so there is some hope for him still. I think Ole Miss certainly a team on the rise, but I think they do need a couple more years. Overall, though, I mean, they're okay. What about Oregon? Oregon, I think, is going to be one of the most surprising teams. Gustavus Castle, a transfer. His second time transferring. I guess he got a waiver from the NCAA here. His senior season, he starts at Arkansas State. He goes to Louisiana. They have a little bit of a setback in Louisiana. And then he heads to Oregon as a 95 overall senior. Jason Dale, going to be the guy next year, probably. What about running backs? Vincent Alexander, 90 overall. Norman Campbell, no longer the #1. Wide receiver room looks good with Harold Norman, Ryan Quinn. Two good guys at the top. Although it is kind of a slow wide receiver room. 75 and 76 speed up there. Donald Gerard, 94 overall tight end, though. The offensive line looking solid. Weak at center, but everywhere else really good. Lawrence Roberts. Tyson Butcher, the CFCL freshman. Coach Flame flipped him, and now he's 84 overall. Freshman that they're going to be able to use very well going forward. I mean, 93 tackling. Like, these stats are just crazy. I think he's going to be one of the best players on the defensive side of the ball for a little while here. Murphy Dupree, true freshman CFCL player as well. What about Oregon State? A little bit of a setback this past season. 7-6, but we'll see if they can go back to contending for the division. Or just playing upset against Oregon and Washington like they like to do. Parnell Cohen, his senior season, 82 overall. Finally getting that starting role there. He's been there for a while. Stuart Patrick, I mean, he's been their go-to guy for a long time now. Wide receiver room looks good. Not a heavy CFCL player here, team here either. I'm not actually sure if they have any off the top of my head. But with all the transfers and stuff going around, it's sometimes hard to tell. So we'll certainly see. David Marquardt. That's an awesome name. Ooh, safety's real bad. Really bad. Penn State had a playoff run at 11-3, went 11-2, including a Big Ten championship win over Wisconsin. Hunter Lance, the quarterback there. They just have so many good quarterbacks at Penn State. It's tough for anybody to start. Hunter Lance coming in. Kenny Kittle's now a redshirt freshman. Still a freshman, but riding the bench. Still really good player potentially in the future. He just still has to wait his turn. He might transfer out, to be honest. I had to keep an eye on it. He does. Mike Joseph's still there. Really good running back. Solid wide receiver room. Good tight end. This offensive line better be stacked. Man, I'm telling you, move some of these guys around. You've got some really good players. Offensive tackle is stacked. Yeah, Kenny Kittle's probably the only CFCL player on this roster. Eric Foster. I don't know if he is. For some reason, I'm leaning that he is. Jeff Goff, 94 overall punter, 99 power. It's a little bit of a disappointing season at 9-4. That's how you know things are really good at Pitt right now. That was disappointing. Connor Clive, the quarterback, after Sergeant Holbrook enters the draft and goes first round. Really good freshman quarterback up here too in Fowler, so they should be set for a little while. By the time this guy's out of here, he should be almost a 90 overall himself. Stavros Bell, the senior, transferred out of Ball State. Gonna be really good. Sid Hinton there still as well for his senior season. But they're gonna need to replace those running backs. Kirby Holiday, the CFCL fullback. Not many of those around here. Daryl Kieran transfers out of James Madison to Pitt. Orion Deaton also transfer in. Perry Harrison, really good. Room overall. Offensive line is really good. Angus Park, 99 overall defensive tackle. Watch out for him. What does he have? He has 99 awareness, 96 tackle, 88 power moves, 90 finesse moves. And this is a really good player. Mac Hawthorne. Good linebackers. Michael Brown, CFCL player. What about at Purdue? Wallace Moon, the left tackle, 92 overall. They got Troy Blackburn, transfers in, a backup quarterback at Iowa. Transfers out so he can take his senior year somewhere else. Goes to Purdue. Replaces Fletcher, Leo Fletcher. For at least a season. They're going to have to figure out something else going forward if they don't want Johnson being the starter. Claude Charles, 89 overall. Decent room here as well. They got Jesse Smalls, the CFCL player. Lots of offensive linemen. Royal Grady, another CFCL player. Back from season 1's recruiting class. Rice, their best player is their quarterback, Leslie Leo. This team, we're kind of have to see what Rice can do, because Rice has had some surprising wins over some teams, but like, I mean, really, look at this roster. You're not talking about a contender in any way. Not for the conference. Definitely not for the playoff bid. Rutgers up next. Stewart Stover, 83 overall quarterback. But there's battle here. Tyree Dixon, also 83. A lot quicker on his feet. So maybe you consider throwing in him. What is his? 73 throw power, 83. 73, 83, 77, 83. So Stewart a little bit of a better thrower, but Dixon a little bit, not a little bit faster, a lot faster. So both of them seniors too, which is unlucky. Let's see, redshirt Tyree Dixon. Rutgers, of course, competing in the American this year after being relegated from the Big Ten for not being any good. SMU is tough. They had a playoff run in season 1. They made the 12 seed, immediately eliminated, and then since then, they just haven't been any good. Barry Cody, the quarterback. I mean, nothing embarrassing so far. Actually, a decent team, especially for a G5. Not great. especially over here. But I mean, still. This is a decent enough team, I think. I think they should make a bowl game. San Diego State. What do they got going on in here? Rustin Rowland back for his final season. We saw him fry Virginia Tech in the toilet bowl, putting up 47 points in a loss because the defense couldn't do anything. His final season. Let's see what he can do. 91 overall. Decent running back room here. Help him out on the ground. The wide receivers ready to take these balls in. But then looks good. Devin Moon. Right end defensive tackle looks solid. Linebacker a little weak to start things off, but solid enough. Corner Joe Coy, CFCL player. Not great here at the safety position. But overall, yeah, no, definitely should be a Mountain West contender. San Diego State, Fresno State, and Nevada. Looking like the three right now. We still have to check San Jose State, which we're going to do right now. Arthur Gerard, senior, final season here. Murray Neville as well. They're losing a lot of their big players at San Jose State this season, for sure. Ryan Johnson. Not a great running game anymore, but a solid receiving room here. The offensive line does not look good. There'll be some struggles at offensive line. Mitty Foster, CFCL player. Good punter. All right, South Alabama. I would probably say San Jose State not contending. They might go 8-4 or something. Probably not contending for the Mountain West. Theodore Charles, 81 overall, after Ollie Wood transfers to Texas A&M. No longer have a really good quarterback, but I could see why he would leave, because the team only went 6-6 despite his best efforts. South Alabama should be fine, I think, but yeah, definitely not looking like he's missing anything by transferring to Texas A&M. South Carolina. This should be Jeff Coleman's senior year. It is. Competed for Freshman of the Year in Season 1. Now an 89 overall. Solid enough player. Not very fast, but solid. 87, 86. Throw power and accuracy. Zach Johnson, ready to follow him up, a 77 overall freshman. You got a true freshman. Really young quarterbacks behind him. So, Christian Malcolm, really good running back. Hunter Conrad, 92, 91 overall here. There's some success to be had at South Carolina right now. They're only a Tier 3 program, so a new user could definitely take them over. Take them over while you have the chance, till they become Tier 4. Undoubtedly, with this roster, they should. What about Southern Miss. I blanked on the name for a moment there, staring at the logo. Old Danny 84, coming off a 9-4 season. Can they replicate that success this season? They got a solid running back still. Not great at wide receiver, but they have a couple manageable players. Call it the defensive line, one of the best units, it looks like. Not great in corners. Yeah, so the secondary, not going to be great here. We'll have to kind of see. But a good turnaround. They went 3-9 and then 9-4. On Mount Tondo, the best player at Stanford. Even though they're a really heavy running team, 95 overall quarterback. I mean, the guy is kind of wasted at Stanford, if I'm honest. Brandon Taylor, freshman. Because of this guy right here, Ross Asher. Just absolute workhorse of a guy. One of the best running backs, hands down, averaging 250 yards per game. I mean, yeah, there's some really good players in here. Just went by a lot of good players. Even at linebacker here, they're looking solid. Yeah, corners look good. Be alright at safety. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Stanford should be an alright team. Now, here's a team I think will be contending for the ACC Atlantic still. I think a lot of the ACC Atlantic is going to slow down a little bit this season. NC State maybe a little. Louisville maybe a little. If not this season, then next season. Wake Forest loses a lot of production. Syracuse, though, I think will be in the race. Because Bjorn Mills came back only 75 speed, but it doesn't feel like that when you play against him. Owen Martin, really good backup quarterback we saw after Mills went down. Running back Gerard Jared, terrible name to pronounce, but good player. L91 overall. Looks like Syracuse is going to be just fine. Okay, safeties on average. You average them out, things get a little better. TCU, here's an interesting one. Dennis Toth back for his senior year should be a great component for this team. They have true freshmen. Again, gotta remove that fresh or redshirt tag from, but true freshman CFCL player Jabari Layton Jr. Just a 1-star though. So not great. I don't know if I would say he's only a 70 overall, but that's what they're saying right now. So definitely need some time to develop. They probably need to bring in another quarterback to keep things moving until Jabari Layton Jr. can develop. Jared Harold, good running back. Ralph Rex is still there. Lincoln Corey, they still have at wide receiver. Strong start to the offensive line. Yeah, still some. Okay, right guard a little weak, but everywhere else, they're looking good. TCU should manage, I would say. They're not perfect. Philip Miranda, 90 overall safety, though. Watch out for that. All right, Temple had a really good run as a G5 program for about one season combined. 2 different seasons, but the first half of both of those seasons was really good. And they kind of fell apart. Howard Morgan going to be leading them this time. We'll see if they can bring it back. Hilton Nash, the quarterback as well. Solid running back room. I mean, there's some hope for this Temple team. I certainly think Temple can be contending for the American. Good wide receivers. Solid tight end here. But the offensive line is not looking promising. The right side is okay, I guess. Especially that right tackle position. Yeah, definitely some work to be had in some of these positions. But I still think there's a good chance Temple can compete for the American. Solid team. Tennessee. All right, they got Ron Delgado back. Another really good player. Just look at all these stats, how high all of them are. This good player, very dangerous quarterback to have to play against. 93 overall now. Travis Porter, Benjamin Flowers, the true freshman CFCL player. There's definitely a lot of potential. Arlo Jacob is still there. Ivan Elliott, the backup for his senior season, which is unlucky for him, but what can you do? Even the fullbacks are good. Look at these fullbacks, 89, 87 overall. How fast were they? 85 speed? These guys might just be running backs or even tight ends if they can catch. Not really. Billy Pruned here? This guy might just be a running back. Funny. Jack Bevan, 91 overall. They did lose their best wide receiver, Matthew Hutchinson, but they still have some good players here. That's for sure. Including Gareth George. Isaiah Toby still there. The offensive line looks good. We know they have solid linebackers, if nothing else. Jordan Bowen. Yeah, and then of course we have Adam Lumpkin, who won Freshman of the Year. Or no, Defensive Player of the Year. Excuse me. I think it was Defensive Player of the Year for me. Now 88 overall is junior. Lee Collier, defensive tackle. That's a name you see a lot. Justin Morgan looks good. Hanson. But here at right linebacker, Joe Green. 80 overall. Had a big play against Florida. That's why we know his name. Huge play against Florida. Max Johnson. Oscar Nash. Yeah, there's a lot of good players on this team. So, Tennessee should be not just an SEC contender, but a playoff contender. What about the Texas Longhorns? Brandon Schmidt, the quarterback now for his senior season. Behind him, true freshman Carl Arrington. John Andrews, also a freshman. Pat Dudley down here. Definitely some success waiting to happen with these guys. We'll have to see. Maybe going forward between these two. Who ends up on top? Albert Frazier, redshirt senior. They are going to be down that Callum Riley at running back, who is just an absolute monster every season. Terrible to play against him. Definitely should be some CFCL players in here. Good wide receivers. Just in general, you look at this team and there's just so much talent all the way through. Clarence Hawkins, 96 overall. Harvey Sparks, 91. Danny Mora. Like, there's just guys. Ashton DeAngelis transfers in. There's just guys that, if you are active enough, you know these names. Ryan Vandermeulen. What is the name of the Texas A&M safety? Just to quickly get off track. There is the Texas A&M guy. This is Vandermeulen. and or maybe he's a corner. Texas A&M. Oh, no. Victor Wilkerson. Okay, I'm just completely wrong. Ignore me. Victor Wilkerson. Not even close. Brian Vanderbilt. Eric Moore, 88 overall punter, though. What about Texas State? This is where Howard almost was. Instead, he ended up at the Longhorns. Jaden Edwin, 82 overall running back. They do have a CFCL player in Ray Morrison, 74 overall as a sophomore now. Not great. Definitely not great. Donald Kyle, definitely the guy to go to here. Texas State looking okay. Definitely be a bowling team. Good safety there. Texas Tech, new head coach there as well. Joe Madison, 94 overall, 99 awareness, 90 throw power, 82 accuracy. Pretty quick as well, good acceleration on him. So definitely watch out for Joe Madison this season because he could lead this team to be pretty good. Edward Moore behind him, Atari Shaw. Greg Carlos at running back is decent. Wide receiver room, you got Adam Knox transferred out of Notre Dame. Imagine Notre Dame still had him. That would certainly be something. Clovis Ferry, the CFCL player. Cameron Richard transfers in. Solid at left tackle. Left guard a little, center not good either. Right guard is okay. And right tackle gets him back on track. Michael Beck, the left end, looks good. Ethan Johnson looks solid. Solid defensive tackles here. Linebackers all right so far. Yeah, all right. As long as you know you're hitting 70, you should be okay. The corners, you got two okay corners. And kind of take a step back. Aiden Torfey, the FCL player. Really good there. A little bit weaker here at strong safety. EJ Hopkins, a good kicker, 85 and 71, and Justin Johnson as punter. On to Toledo. Malcolm Graham, the quarterback, 77 overall. Does not look like Toledo is going to be contending this season. Yeah, Toledo, not looking good. Yeah, no, I don't expect anything out of Toledo. I think Toledo is going to be in a very, very bad spot. What about Troy? AD Weeks up in Troy. Samson Lewis, 91 overall quarterback. Watch out for him. Good running back room as well. Solid wide receivers. Good tight end. I mean, the offense looks like it's clicking so far. Offensive line is workable. Right guard needs some work. Defensive ends are fine. Defensive tackle a little bit worse off. Linebackers a little bit stronger in the middle. One good corner. And then, you know, the rest. Oh, strong safety, real bad. Solid kicker. Solid punter. Not even solid. I mean, those are some of the best. There are very few 80-plus overalls. Special teams land. Tulane. I don't think Tulane's going to make a bowl game. Just off rip. That's my prediction. I don't think Tulane's going to be a bowling team. We do have Jacob Arlo out there, but even such, I think they were lucky to make a bowl game last season. 7-6 overall this season. I don't know if they're going to have what it takes. We'll see. I'd like to be wrong. I have no problems if I'm wrong. I just don't know that Tulane has... I mean, corners are okay. Start things off. Secondary is actually manageable. I guess we'll see. What about Tulsa? Florida State's biggest rival, for those that don't know. Florida State, when Penn State first joined the first game, I think. Or no, maybe they weren't even here. I don't remember. Either way, they lost to Tulsa in season 1. Went 7-6 that season. Josiah Carter was the quarterback back then, and he's the quarterback now. 86 overall quarterback for his senior season. Look at that speed on it. Very quick, high acceleration too. So I would watch out for this guy. Also could have a good year. Really good running back here too. Started off strong at wide receiver and then kind of took a step back. Go to left tackle. To right guard. Not great. Right end is... There's definitely some good players at Tulsa. I think Tulsa could compete in the G5 race. Sure. Absolutely. What about UAB? Never know what to make of UAB. Scott Lee, 81 overall quarterback, and that's pretty much all they got. Nothing else of note there. Running game is going to be terrible. Don't really have the wide receivers you need. Offensive line doesn't look good. Thanks. Yeah, UAB might be in for a tough season as well. Got rid of their coach. We didn't do that. Rid of their coach. He's now the offensive coordinator at Coastal Carolina. They had a tough season. What about UCF? UCF moving to Conference USA, I believe. No, they're moving to the American. Wilfred Jesse, quarterback. Cody Leonard. Of course, their coach left. Take Arkansas job. Coordinator job at Arkansas, nonetheless. Not expecting much out of this team. But yeah, there's definitely some bright spots on it. That's for sure. What about UCLA? Just looking at some of those players up there at the top, there's some good players at UCLA, despite a terrible season last season. Bo Clinton, 85 overall. Behind him, Rashad Smith, freshman. Yeah, there's some future in these quarterbacks. Ben Vernon. It's a good running back. Wide receiver is loaded. Both seniors up there at the top. We got some juniors below that. Yeah, if not this season, maybe next season. UCLA looks like they're ready to explode. Might take them more than this season. perhaps. We'll have to see. But there's definitely some potential in this team. Definitely some potential. ULM, Aaron Ryan, the quarterback. And definitely not a lot to look at ULM. I think rebuilding ULM would be the toughest thing you could do. ULM's probably one of the worst off teams right now. Got a good corner. That's about it. That's about where that ends. It'd be tough. UNLV's got Clive Cody, 93 overall. I don't know. Watch out for him too, I guess. Maybe for the Mountain West, I should say. Make sure to tack that on. Mountain West looks like it's about to be a really good conference for the G5. There's some good players on this UNLV squad. Very good players. I don't know, man. Mountain West is unpredictable. Now here's where I'm interested. USC national title and then a 7-6 season. Brady McKay, though, quarterback out there, now transfers in. Should be a good turnaround. Ernest Shawn is gone. They're going to need to immediately replace these guys because they're about to not have a quarterback again. That's kind of the problem with the portal. You only get guys for a year or two generally. Really good running back in Jacob Richards. John Hartman out there. Flynn Kane as well. There's definitely some talented players at USC. Oh, yeah. Yeah, USC is definitely going to be probably contending. Say. Definitely looking like they're going to be a good team. So watch out for USC. What about USF after their 11-2 season? Chev Witt back to starting. Got his job back. One of the most explosive offenses when he was the starter. Lost his starting job to a transfer last season, and now he is back for his senior year. And he takes this squad back to the top of the American. They won the American. They went 11-1 and didn't even make the championship game in 11-1 because unfortunately UTSA was just better. Good corners. All right, UTEP, what do you got? Mish Robert, 82 overall. Jackson Michael. Yeah. Not a lot is the answer. Receivers, solid room though. Yeah, no, UTEP should be alright. Just looking at these. Not terrible. That's kind of where UTEP's been. They just can't win Conference USA for some reason. They get there and they lose the conference championship game. Maybe they can turn that around if they get back this season. And here's UTSA. Can they keep the momentum going? They're now in the Big 12. Not only are they in the Big 12, they're in the toughest division in college football now, undoubtedly. I mean, the ACC Atlantic is still solid, probably. But when you have a division with Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, and UTSA, and Baylor, TCU, didn't even forgot TCU. I mean, it's a tough division. But they have J.T. Cordova, the generational talent at quarterback. Look at him. 88 speed, 99 acceleration, 84 awareness, 90 throw power, 88 throw accuracy. I mean, the guy is bound to be good. Undoubtedly. BJ Scott, good quarterback. Unfortunately, the guy you're behind is a little bit better. William Black here for his final season. Really good running back. Dallas Sane and Raymond Quinn. But overall, not a great receiving room. Adam Lawrence, really good tight end though. Offensive line might be a struggle for him though. Really don't have an offensive line. And listen, if Cordova enters the portal, you know it's going to be chaos. Let's see if UTSA keeps the momentum going. What about Utah? Another team that's just very disappointing all the time. Glenn Gerard, 81 overall quarterbacks. They really don't have a great quarterback this season, which is different pace. Usually they have a good quarterback, and that's why they're disappointing. But this time, I mean, they still have some good players. Quarterback is just not the best one. Bryce Young. Overall, still a solid team, I would say. It's just haven't been able to put it together recently. They really haven't been the same team since season 1 when they missed out on the playoff after fumbling the Pac-12 title game away. Ever since that disastrous loss, keep them out of the playoff, they just haven't been the same team. Maxfield Vaughn, 78 overall at Utah State. Good running back room for Utah State, though. Solid receivers. Yeah, there's a lot of players on here that I'm surprised. I still don't know if I'm believing Utah State's going to compete with the rest of these Mountain West teams. But still, Donald Roy, 88 overall quarterback for Vanderbilt. They got Brandon Brown and William Brown. James Watson as well. So, looks like it's going to be a freshman stepping up next season. Sophomore then. Unless he's redshirted. Solid running back room. It's just hard to trust Vanderbilt to do much because they struggle. They still struggle. It's just been so hard for them to get off the ground. But honestly, not a bad roster. I think they would actually be like a bowling team if you put them in like... Oh, not the Big 12 anymore. I don't know. Solid roster. They would compete for a G5 conference. Put it that way. What about Virginia? Quarterback Lester Sidney, the junior, 85 overall. Some good running backs in here. Pretty good in the wide receivers too. And Virginia's a pretty workable team. And they're only a tier 2, I believe. Because, I mean, they struggle real bad. Tier 3 is like bowling team. Not quite top 25, but they're going bowling. Tier 2 is usually like bad power 5s. Tier 1 is the bad G5. Virginia Tech, can they move from the American to the ACC and still cook? Max Barnett coming for his senior season should definitely help out with that. Good running backs. And there's a lot of hope here. 99 overall, Morgan Poole. Transferred out of Nebraska here, I believe. So that's surprising. Good roster. Definitely still a good roster. It's shocking this team ever got relegated. Look how good their team is now. That's going to be a good team. Wake Forest. They've been an ACC contender pretty much every season. Made it to 2 conference championship games and no, maybe only 1, but they've kind of been in the race every season. Put it that way. Walter Hines going to be the quarterback there. Do they still have what it takes to be that kind of team? Deion Roy, solid start. Good, 2 good running backs. Patrick Percival still out there. Good wide receivers still. Solid tight ends with Warwick. The offensive line looks like it's going to be just fine. Just fine. Oh yeah. Maybe this team definitely probably still be in the race for the ACC Atlantic. Still a lot of talent on here, so definitely not count them out just because they lost their starting running back and quarterback and wide receiver. Oh, Washington, been a playoff contending team. They got into the playoff back-to-back seasons now. Haven't been able to capitalize off of it yet. Nothing crazy. 1 win in each playoff. Led by senior Zachary Reed, his final effort here. Trying to take him all the way to the top. Can he do it? Let's see. Tristan Allen transfers it out of Western Michigan. Won the Heisman at Western Michigan. Transfers to Washington for his senior season. John Desmond loses his role as a result. Elijah Howard still there. Chance Hall. Really good senior wide receivers. Toby Ross is a senior. I think this is got to be the season. Mason Hunter's really good. A junior. Honestly, just looking at this roster, this has got to be the season. Lots of seniors. I think that they're going to get it done. This has got to be it. This is the run for Washington. This is just a really good roster, but so much of it is just juniors and seniors, and you're going to lose so many seniors. The juniors, I don't think, are going to be able to take this team to the top next season, not by themselves. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Washington should use this window. Washington State. Ross Hale, his final season, really good quarterback, except can't seem to put it together for a good season. Washington State is really struggling team. It's always been interesting to see that kind of go down. He hasn't transferred out. Been interesting to see that kind of play out. Stuck with a team that just doesn't have the wide receivers for him. I mean, look at this. It's just not it. Unfortunately, I think that's going to tank his draft stock. I really do. I don't think he's going to be able to do what he wants to do professionally with this team. I admire the dedication to one team, but you just don't have good wide receivers despite being a really good quarterback. You're not going to be able to put up the numbers, and you know, it's going to cost you. Yeah, not a great team surrounding him, so unlucky. West Virginia is going to be a fun team to watch. Barris Simmons here for his senior year. Does he have what it takes to put it together for another run like last season where they went 10-3 and they were about 30 seconds away from competing in the Big 12 championship game? Unfortunately, Kansas went down and scored after an onside kick to win that one. Good running back room overall. Wide receivers, some of the best. Alex Buck. Good tight end. Yeah. Definitely some good players in the mix here. I would say, oh, this is not good. Not compared to what we've been seeing recently with Wake Forest and Washington. I don't know. Keep your eye on them. I think they could have another good run here. Western Kentucky. What do you got for me? Dominic Ritchie, the senior, 86 overall. They went 11-3. And Leland Turner, CFCL player, up to a 79 overall. I mean, not a great roster, but like for a G5, I don't think this is going to hold them back too much. I think if they won 11-3 last season, they can definitely still be a decent team this season. So we'll see. What about Western Michigan? They've kind of fallen off after seasons 1 and 2. Kelvin Allen, the quarterback, 82 overall, junior. Not a lot of time for him to develop, really. They no longer have Tristan Allen. Won the Heisman his sophomore year, stayed for his junior year, did not like the results. Offensive line, not great. Left end looks good. Right end looks good. Defensive tackle is solid. So yeah, better on the defensive line, that's for sure. Good corners. And safeties. Yeah, okay. I don't know. And a great punter, apparently. Interesting. I don't know. Western Michigan might be back to contending for the MAC, but yeah, you can't sell me, not yet. There's 2 more teams left. Rainer Reina. Not quite a CFCL player, but one of the funnier names from our Season 1 generated teams, because every name was auto-generated. Every single team had all their players randomized to make it, quote, fair. Didn't really end up working the way we wanted it to, but still kind of balanced things out for a little bit. Anyway, Rainer Reina, 96 overall at Wisconsin. Definitely putting him into the Big Ten West race. Pretty much them versus Iowa, I imagine it's going to be. Tyson Ryder's really good. I don't know if they have any CFCL players in here. We'll definitely see if we can find any. Left tackle's completely loaded. I'm telling you, move him to guard, move one to center, move to right guard. You're set. they adjust that offensive line, I mean, this team's going to be really good. All right, final team here in Wyoming. Ryan Hemme, 77 overall quarterback. Listen, it's going to be tough to be Wyoming because even if you have solid players, which it looks, well, wide receiver's not the best example, but it looks like they have some okay players here. The Mountain West looks like it's going to be so good that I don't know if it matters. The Mountain West is back to Season 1 form, where there's so many good teams in there. Back then it was New Mexico, San Jose State up there at the top. Fresno State was really good though. Even Utah State. But now it looks like it's going to be dog fights. All right, and that's it. These are your top players, the 99 overall club. You got Florida State's Gavin Anthony, Texas A&M's Gerald Hayden. So 2 tight ends up there. Ollie Wood, quarterback, the only 99 overall quarterback at Texas A&M. Angus Park at Pitt. Morgan Poole at Virginia Tech. And Frazier Hector, BYU. Those are going to be your best players. Of course, there's a lot of really good players down here. But again, if you made it this far, remember that if you're adjusting your depth charts, you can go ahead and just DM me, adjust the depth chart, red shirts, or if you want to join, maybe you're not even in the CFCL, you can go ahead and join the Discord in the description, and we can get you set up with a team, and you can kind of join on the fun here. But thank you guys for tuning in to a very, very long recording session for all of the rosters for Season 4.